Hi, everybody. It's Dennis, the active trend trader. Are you one of the traders who has a difficult time finding great growth stocks to trade every weekend? Well, we've got the answer. Welcome to How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Options. We're going to cover three things. Our panel of expert traders has picked out three top shelf growth stocks that are setting up and ready potentially to trade next week. Number two, an analysis of the indexes showing which ones are strongest, which ones are weakest, and what the potential is for a move next week. And then we'll also cover another trading problem or issue that you may be having, and we'll provide an answer to that will help you, one, maximize your profits and minimize your losses. So let's get into today's session right now. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn, the active trend trader. I want to welcome to today's session of How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Options, plus some trading tips. Do you ever feel like or have you ever felt like just a deer in the headlight when it comes to picking good stocks? Or knowing that, hey, this stock has a really solid background, it's probably going to do well. And if you feel like sometimes like, a deer in the headlight, you're not alone. All of us have been there. One of the things that helps us to get past that is have a wonderful routine that focuses on just a few of the top-notch stocks that are available. Our panel today of elite stock pickers and elite traders, Anil Parikh and Steve Ferreira, have practiced choosing great stocks for now years. So you're in the right place if you're looking for great stocks to trade. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
And so you guys ever had that deer in the headlight feeling of, gee, I really, I wish I had something to trade or yeah, I'd like to get into this trade, but I'm just so uncertain about the specific stock?
It happens, yeah.
It happens, especially when you're first getting started, I think.
Absolutely.
It happens, and I think I'm finding out if I can stick to my systems without getting emotional, I'm okay.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I agree with that wholeheartedly. That sticking to as long as your system, but that's okay. Yeah, my internet went down.
Oh, wow.
And so, but it's back up. So, hey, let's take a look. And what I was saying is basically just that deer in the headlight type perspective. What we're looking at for this week, as we've said earlier, that there's been a lot of just massive sector rotation multiple times through the year. It's made it really challenging if you're trying to trade sectors, but at the same time, if you're an individual stock trader, you're doing probably a lot better. I know that some of our members are up significantly for the year. The Eric, one of our traders back on the East Coast, North Carolina, has been doing really well. And I know also a lot of the other traders have been doing really well. But Anneal made the comment about sticking with your system. If your system has an edge, which an edge can be defined as a 65% win-loss ratio with, and that's going to basically, as long as your winners are bigger than your loser, you're going to be profitable. So that's what we try to do with active trend trading. And I know Steve does the same thing with the modifications he makes to what he trades. And I'll bet you that both Anneal and Steve are running somewhere between 60 to 70% win-loss ratio with probably a positive expectancy on the trades that you do. In other words, you're making money.
Mm-hmm. I'm not as high as 65%. I'm at 55% this year. But my win-loss ratio is very large, almost 4-to-1.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said 65% win-loss ratio. So if you're 4-to-1 win-loss ratio, you're about 80%.
No. Size of win to size of loss. Win-loss, I'm at 55%, or just shy of 55%. But my win size to loss size is large.
Okay,
almost,
I got you.
Not quite. Almost 4-to-1. Yeah.
So, and what about you, Anneal?
I think I'm around 55, between 55 and 60.
Okay, for the win-loss. Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do basically just today is just if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your losses, active trend trading is a proven, clear, and simple system focused on helping you trade your way to wealth and financial freedom. That's what I'm basically writing a book right now with my son Brandon, who is the author, and it is going to be basically trade your way to wealth. How to turn $100 into $1 million in 7 years. And I think it'll be it's really going to be an excellent book. But it comes back down to consistently following a system of trading, great stocks and or ETFs. We're not going to get into the trading option part of it. And I think it's going to be really great. Here's what we got set up for the rest of the day. We're going to do a market review. They're going to get into the individual stocks, have some really great stocks for Anneal and Steve and myself. And then some stock checkups. If you have something you want us to take a look at, please let me know. If the other thing is if you do have any comments, please drop them in the chat box because I don't pay attention that much to the Q&A section of it. So, hey, do you want to be a more consistent trader? Show of hands. Any comments? If you want to be a more consistent trader, then do this very simple thing. Learn to wait. Learn to wait for your setups. Learn to wait for your profits. Learn to wait, and all within the confines and basically foundation and structure of a sound trading system. So just a reminder that all materials are presented for trading purposes. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication or promise of future performance. If you're joining us on YouTube channel for the first time, welcome aboard. We're glad you're here with us. That's funny, David. And if you will, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. You'll be reminded when we do put tutorial videos up on the YouTube channel. I've got a really good one planned coming up here shortly, and it's partly about how to use conditional orders. And here's where we're sitting as of close of business day, and this is the last day in October. As you see, the first part of the year, we were kind of whipsawed all over the place. That's what I was talking about. We made a slight change in what we did, a refinement. I want to thank Eric Golub for doing some reviews with me that allowed us to get back on track. I'm projecting out that we will hit 40+% by the end of the year. I've got about another 13% to go on that, because here's where we were last week. Here's where we are this week. If you remember, if you've been a long-term member of Active Trend Trader watching these videos, you know that at the beginning of the year, we were stuck down there about 10%. For months, we had gotten up 10%, and we're not getting any more traction. That one refinement we made, thanks to Eric, enabled us to garner and take in more of our profits. And that has led us to a couple of other tweaks that we did on the active trend trading system, just primarily on how we enter, sizes that we enter trades with. And so here's where we're sitting right now. So, and I always love to throw up, something from the ancient script. The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at what's going on with the S&P. Let me grab my pencil. As you see, this week, okay, we broke out last Friday. It appeared on Tuesday of this. We broke out last Monday. It appeared on Tuesday that this was going to be a fake out breakout. We pulled right back down to where this support zone, and then rebounded yesterday and also rebounding today. Now, one of the things to keep an eye on, though, is what's our volume doing? Our volume is actually going down as our prices are going up. That is not necessarily a sign of strength. That is, however, we have nothing after we got through those two candlesticks right there, because that was a nice, not quite a shooting star, but a nice bearish engulfing there of this candlestick there. Once we got those out of those 2 days down out of the way, price action have taken back up. And I'll do this on the Fibonacci on the NASDAQ for where it's likely to go. So TSI still in the above the upper reversal zone. Market forecast momentum still above the upper reversal zone. We had kind of a TSI squeeze, if you will. That's where you squeeze back down like that, but then price action takes it back up. That is, I don't know if I should call that a fake out squeeze or a bullish squeeze, but that's exactly what happened. On the weekly charts, the momentum is facing to the upside. So what I'd like to be doing, if I'm going to trade the S&P, I'm looking for a pullback back into the moving averages, or throw on a Fibonacci to pull back down into probably the 38% retracement, and then trade to the long side. The tendency of the markets, each one of them during the last 2 months of the year, is to rally and go up. Now, yes, the market is facing a lot of headwind with potential supply shortages and this type of thing. However, that can create a wall of worry. That prices will continue to push up and push higher. And we'll just, and we're going to have to just wait and see what's going to transpire. Hold on. There we go. The NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the Qs. Qs finally broke up. And I got to tell you this, and I'm going to be really forthright about that. I was so stinking excited when I saw the candlestick from Wednesday of this week. I actually wrote about it, and I basically put in on the YouTube channel, that is an excellent, shooting star. Looked really excellent, like, hey, we're heading down. The one thing about candlesticks, yes, that was a reversal signal. At the end of an uptrend, shooting star, that's basically an inverted hammer, if you will. However, as soon as the high from Wednesday is taken out, even if it's just intraday, it voids that signal. Now, do I cancel that out of my memory banks? No, because it does tell us that, hey, sellers did try to come in there and sell it off. So now what I'm looking for is some kind of an indication that sellers are going to come back in. Right now, I have nothing. I have no negative divergence. I've got the price action on the weekly TSI and weekly market forecast heading up. Those are all positive. So where's my projected upside on this? Well, I'll just throw in a real quick fib. Here's your, there you go. And the first upside target is up here at 391. The second one is up here at 402, about 403. So those are upside targets. I would still like to see either one or two things happen. We call it a pullback to the moving averages, but oftentimes it can also just be the moving averages catching up with the price action. And when that happens, right now, price is respecting the 8-day moving average. As we've made this last move up, that is a very strong indication that we're going to continue to move higher. As I said, we wait. Right now, things are extended. We wait for what's going to happen. We may just jiggle around up here in this zone from 380 to up to 385, almost 386. And jiggle around in that zone, or maybe a pullback down into this area here of the Fibonacci. But if that happens, that's great. If not, that's great. The other thing I want to be aware of, and I'll just throw this up there really quick, is we do want to be, if we get a reversal, but right now I don't have a candle that says, hey, I'm going to stop and move down. I just don't have one. Let me get that up. There we go. I just don't have one that's doing that right now. Positive. The only thing on the downside is to the negative, volume low. Volume low. IWM. The IWM put in just an absolutely beautiful reversal signal on Tuesday. Those of you who trade with the active trend trading service, you know that we did a actually put and a trade in the leverage ETF to the downside, TZA, based on the pullback up into this area here. That triggered an order for us. We're in that order. We dropped back down on TZA. Also pulled in some really nice profits and have almost closed out all the options on this one to the downside. We do not have, we still are working off of this uptrend, that one. And so we're just kind of bouncing around. The thing that you have to make the decision on is it bouncing around enough to where you can make some profit? And the answer, from my perspective, the answer to that is yes, you can. Because as you see, like with TZA, let me call TZ up, you darn it. As with TZA, we were in TZA right about the midsection there, about the $27 level. It ran up, hit a high, came back, and now it looks like it's posturing to go back up on TZA. I again still like the if I could still load up on the put options. So I would look. Here's the way I'm looking at trading this. I'll trade weakness of IWM to the downside. I will try to trade strength on TQQ to the on the Qs to the upside, keeping in the back of my mind the idea that the Russell tends to, seasonality-wise, outperform the other two indexes going into the end of the year. But right now, I have no bullish setup on the Russell, and so I may trade it just from here down. Again, where to? The $3 down to the 50-day moving average. But when you're trading an ETF like this, if you're doing the option, a $3 move can still generate you a nice $30, $40, $50% profit to the downside, and then be ready to roll it into the back up to the upside. Guys, that's what I've got on the indexes. Again, I'm bullish. I need a pullback, or I need for the move, my trigger to catch up with the price action. Thoughts?
I don't disagree. I'm actually quite bullish, although the market is not clear yet that it's resuming its uptrend. It looks like it is. I'm very bullish into the end of the year, into the first few months of next year. I see a lot of things set up very well about 3 weeks ago, and then setups kind of disappeared. But the last 2 days, yesterday and today, I see a lot of setups re-emerging. So I think the message I get is this market is becoming quite bullish, even though its decline in volume as we go to new highs kind of keeps people worried. I think it's actually extremely bullish. The sellers have just disappeared. They can't make any traction to the downside. Yeah,
I agree wholeheartedly. That's when I said all the downside trade I'm doing, Steve, it's really 2 or 3, 4 days max.
Right.
And then I'm done.
Yeah.
Anneal, what do you think?
My system, this all has a buy signals on all 4 indices.
So as Jim Cramer says, buy. No?
Absolutely.
Carefully.
Well, you always buy carefully.
And so Eric says IWM looks like an ascending triangle. What time frame, Eric? Yeah, I mean, from here.
Middle of August.
Yeah, from here. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's always an interesting question to ask. Yes, that looks like an ascending triangle. At the same time, it has influence because you go back to the first of the year. We've almost for the full year have run inside that channel, that horizontal channel. Now, if it breaks out, look out below. We may be, heading for some really great things with the IWM. And so to be able, and so part of the thing I'm watching is I don't want to get overly biased in either direction. But yeah, it looks positive. If we get a breakout, we know we have to get past this past high. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Excellent looking excellent looking triangle. So okay, who's ready for the picks for this week? You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. Normally I'm going to go with Anneal first because I'm totally not familiar with this entity.
This entity, I got it yesterday, but it's gone up so much. So
Wow.
I don't know whether it's viable today right now. Usually my system, I'll say about buy here, right now. But this thing has gone up, more than 30-40% this week.
Let's see.
Is that a complaint?
If you don't have it there, if you haven't bought it yet, then it's a big complaint.
Well, let's see. If you take the whole move from the low of, I've gone up 39%.
Yeah.
So on a situation like that, clearly this is, the buyers came in here at with the earnings, they like the earnings. It just, as I dissect this is a really nice little, I wouldn't call it a cup and handle because it is a cup, but the handle is too deep, but we're right back up slightly above these past highs. We're breaking out. It's struggling a little bit. So yeah, like I said, I'm a pullback guy.
Yeah. And we may do that from a cup, from a handle at this level.
And we could very well. The one thing to be on the lookout for is that gap right there. Within that gap, okay, all gap ups like this or gap downs, depending on which way you're going. In this particular case, this constitutes a zone of support, with the midsection of that zone being the strongest piece of the support. And so, again, as I like to always say, look to your left. And so if I go to about the midsection of that and draw a line, draw it across, and look at that. I'll be darned. So that's where so I think that's a really good strong breakout area right there, about 195-ish. That's where I'd look to get in right now. That's where I would be willing to. Yeah, Mark, you're absolutely right. Middle of the gap pullback. And it may not get there.
Yeah.
But with our, in our trading, we define what, just like when you go out shopping, you should define what you're willing to pay. We do that all the time because if it's too much, we're not going to buy it. Unfortunately, we need to apply that more often to our stock picks also. So good pick, Anil. I like it. Let's see. Does it have?
You're asking about it. It's in the solar play. It's It's part of the solar industry group.
It does have weekly options. The other thing I really like about it, Anneal, is earnings now are out of the way.
Yep,
and
that was the main reason.
Roger that. So
I was expecting for that to pull back today.
Yeah,
but it did not pull back. It just went up.
and so, well, in a way, it is pulling back from a higher high.
Yeah.
Because that is looking like it's going to be a shooting star type candlestick. So, okay, moving right along. We are keep us going. SAN.
Okay, this is Asana. It's been an IBD 50 for quite some time, maybe pushing 8 or 9 months. It's in a beautiful uptrend. Look at the weekly chart. We just had a very brief pullback, and I like the price action yesterday and today.
Okay.
Yesterday was really the entry for me, but today is still viable today.
Okay, I agree. What kind of price action here, Steve, are you looking at if you take out? Yeah. Where would your stop loss be?
I'd probably go under yesterday's low.
Okay, if you go under yesterday's low, that would put you in a stop loss area of about 9%.
It's a little bit high, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you did do that, manage your loss by managing the size of the position.
The trade, correct.
And so that's another way to do that. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Clearly it does not, it has just regular monthly options. Mm-hmm. So that looks pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
All you got to do is break out and keep going. Because look out, again, I always say look to your left. And that big down candle where we had the selling.
Yeah. I
mean, it comes right down to where this level of support where it broke out before. Earnings coming up on 12/8, so you got plenty of time with earnings.
And here's the big tell for me was that bar you pointed out, the big down bar. It looked like it was the start of a downtrend.
Yeah.
But there was absolutely no follow through to that day's action.
Exactly.
The next day was an inside bar, so that became a buy when there was no follow through to the downside.
Now, from a pure candlestick perspective, that is okay. We have a hanging man, but that was voided. But that is a bearish engulfing that covered 1, 2, 3, 4 price days, and it still has a bearish bias or a downside bias hanging over it because that reversal signal is still in effect until we take out the high.
Correct. But the tell, to me, the early tell is if that bar was truly very weak, if it was a major reversal, there should be follow through to the downside, and there was absolutely none. We didn't even intraday go lower following that ugly bar.
Yeah, I agree. However, the significance of the bar still remains the same from a definition.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I don't disagree with that, but I see it as very bullish price action, despite what looks like a major reversal bar.
Yeah.
I think the odds are it'll fail as a reversal.
But we shall see.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how almost everything we're looking at has a low volume going on. So, okay, here's my choice. You ready? This looks really good. Mara. Now, I like this better actually earlier in the day. No. But it appears as if we're running up this. What it is basically putting in a nice little pennant. And with that being said, let me take a snapshot here and grab this. So what that means is here's the flagpole from here to here. Now we're pulling back into this pennant, which is here. Okay. Now, if we in fact break out from that pennant, what's the upside? Well, the upside is the length of that flagpole. So that's what I'd be anticipating. It has earnings coming up, though, on 11/11, I think. Yep, 11/11 BMO. And so it may only go a part of the way up. But if it does, in fact, make that full run, let me give you a simple approach to this is I'm going to just go from that low to there, back down to there. And a 100% move on that would take us all the way back up to about $73 from 51. So that's a highlight. So that's my pick for this week. When will I look at buying it? I'm going to let it linger until, because as I said, as I looked at this earlier in the day, it was looking much stronger. And so as it stands right now, I will probably like this, but I'll like it closer to this little uptrend line because so that would be about $50 and say 60 cents. And if it fails below the low of today, I would go ahead and be out of the trade and wait for it to reload. So that's my pick, guys.
Looks good.
Looks very good.
And it does have weekly options also. So excellent picks, guys. I mean, I really, and I love the discussion. I hope everybody else appreciates that, the level of discussion that we do have. And so let's go ahead and say, hey, if did you know that traders who journal are more consistent? And my business partner, Brandon, he basically designed and wrote these journals that are one of the best sellers on Amazon. I will put a link down in the description on how you can get a hold of either one of these. One is an 8.5 by 11. The other one is a 6 by 9. It's the mini journal. So the link will be in the description. So that's all I've got for today, guys. 2021 is just about gone. I think if anything, we've worked really hard on maintaining our consistency and our discipline, because this was a year where discipline was very much needed. So keep the egg growing, trade well, prosper. Premium members will be back at the top of the hour for the final hour. And so Anneal and Steve. Oh, I forgot one thing. Anneal's Delaware IBD meetup group is meeting this coming. And this is a Zoom meeting, right, Anneal?
That is correct.
Okay, November 4th at 6:30 p.m. That's East Coast time. And Anneal's going to be presenting on simplicity on the other side of complexity. And that is just an intriguing title. And I know that you've been working really, really hard on developing some simple approaches to what you guys are doing. And then the Bay Area Moneymakers are meeting on November 2nd, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm going to be talking about target shooting option entries for both income and wealth generation. So if you want to have more information about that, just go to the Delaware IBD meetup group, and you just Google that, and they'll take you away to it. Is that right, Anneal?
Yeah. When the link comes in, just go ahead, and if you're not a member, you'll have to join the membership, and then you will get the link.
Yeah. And what the membership fee is, what, $250?
That's right, about 1,000.
Okay. So if you're ready for no.
So this is all free.
Okay, guys, that's it for today. I wanted to say aloha, God bless everybody, and have a great rest of your week.